So this is lesson 13, part 2. We're on the third equation here on the back page, well, the third system. So we have y equals 2x minus 4, and we have y equals 3x minus 6. Again, we're using the same idea of substitution. The first one says y equals this box. We can take this box, move it down into the second equation, and replace this y right here with the box. The box is 2x minus 4. So when I do that, it's going to look something like this. I'm going to have 2x minus 4 equals 3x minus 6. Again, what I do is I cancel off the smaller variable. 2x is smaller than 3x. To cancel 2x, I subtract 2x from both sides. When I do that, it cancels off these 2x's. 3x minus 2x is x. So it'll look something like this. Again, my whole goal is to get this x all by itself. So I got to cancel off this minus 6 here. The only way to do that is to add 6 to both sides. And we get x equals 2, right? Because negative 4 plus 6 is 2. And the only thing left on the right side is the x. So now that I know the fact that x is 2, I can take either one of these equations. Both of them say y equals, so it doesn't matter which one you pick. And I can put this 2 up in for one of these x's, and that'll help me get what y is. Okay? So it'll look something like this. I pick the top equation. So it says y equals 2 instead of x. We write our 2 that we just found, minus 4. When I put this part in my calculator, 2 parentheses 2 minus 4, it gets me that y is equal to 0. Okay, so my answer is x equals 2, y equals 0. And I found both parts of my equation. All right, we have one last one here. Okay, so we have, again, this one looks a lot different than the other ones because we don't have something that starts with y equals at the top, right? This one has an equation in standard form on the top. But if I look below it, this equation says x equals something. So if x equals this box here, what I can do is I can take this box, move it up into the top equation. Yes, you can do that too. And I'm going to replace this x with what's in the box. Okay, when I do that, I will have this big long equation. Right, this big long equation replaces this x value with 4y minus 10. Okay, in order to get rid of the 3 on the outside of the parentheses, what I would do is I would distribute the 3 inside my parentheses here, and I would get 12y minus 30 minus 2y equals 10. Okay, after I distribute, the thing I would do is combine the like terms. I know that 12y and negative 2y are like terms. When I combine those two things, I get 10y. Okay, so that's what it's like down here. So I have 10y minus 30 equals 10. Again, what I would want to do is I want to cancel off this minus 30. I do that by adding 30. When I add 30, start to move over here, I get 10y equals 40. My last step would be divided by 10 to cancel off this 10 on the y. And it tells me that y equals 4. Okay, so now I know the fact that y equals 4. I can go back up into my equation. I'm going to choose the bottom one because it says x equals. And I'm going to replace this 4 with this y right here, right? Because y is 4. When I do that, my equation would look something like this. And again, I would just put this into my calculator, and it would tell me that x equals 6. Okay, so that's it for the ones that have whole numbers. For this bottom one, this 13.4 here, it says decimals are okay. We're going to zoom out a little bit. It says decimals are okay. In fact, systems usually do not have nice, neat answers. Try this. So we have an equation. Right, we have another system here. Again, this one says y equals something. Okay, so what I can do is I can take what y equals, the box on the top, bring it down into my other equation right here for this y, and I'm going to replace this y with what's in the box. Again, it's going to look something, and we move a little over here. It's going to look a little something like this equation. Okay, so I replaced the y in this equation with the 5x plus 2. Again, my first step here is to distribute. So that means I multiply the outside by the two things on the inside. When I do that, this is what I get. I get negative 3x plus 5 times 5x is 25x. 5 times 2 is 10. And it's going to still equal to 4. right? Again, the next step after I distribute is to combine like terms. These two things are like terms. If I add them together, I get 22x. So, oh, yeah, cover that up. Again, in order to cancel off the plus 10, what I would do, right, because this is just a two-step equation, is I would minus 10. So then I would get 4 minus 10 is negative 6. So I'd get 22x equals negative 6. Again, right here, what I would have to do is cancel off the x, or the 22 on the x, and I do that by dividing. So it's going to get me a really nasty decimal. This decimal is x equals negative 0.27. Right, so that is what x equals. What I could do is I could go back over to my equation, this one over here, and if I know that x is negative 0.27, I can replace this x right here with that value. When I do that, I would get this, y equals 5 times negative 0.27 plus 2. And what that would get me is y equals 0.65. Okay, I'm going to cover up the first part here because we're going to move on to the next. Our last part is for something for you guys to practice, right? So it says that this is lesson 13 practice problems, or part 1 practice problems. It says solve the following system of equations using substitution. Again, what I want you to do is I want you to go through all 4 of these questions on your own, right? Pause the video now, go through all of them, and then what you can do is you can check your answers on this video. So pause it now, give them a try, and then come back and view these solutions. All right, if you're back to view the solutions, these are all the solutions. Hopefully you got them right. I will leave these up here for a minute so that you can pause the video here to check all your solutions. All right, hopefully you are done checking your solutions and you should be all set. So have a good night.